Hello everybody, this is Miki ASMR and I'm going to be reading 10 Stages of Me and You. But before I start this video, I wanted to thank you guys so much for 70 subscribers, and I'm extremely sorry for how long it's taking me to record. I have a lot of schoolwork that I have to do, and I have a lot of pressure on me for school, so I'm extremely sorry about how long it takes me to make videos. But I'm really happy that you guys enjoy my content and that you guys continue to like it. And also thank you for 1,500 views on my first video. I was not expecting that. Thank you guys so much. But that's all I have to say for this, so I'm gonna start the video. Stage 2, her. If you don't know, that means it is in your perspective. Maybe accepting the fact that you had feelings towards someone wasn't quite a good idea. Since last night, you have been constantly flooded with the thought of Kei. You couldn't stop thinking about how you wanted him more, to watch him smile, hold his hand, and hug him. You even silently hoped that fate would be kind to you and let you bump into him on the way to school. You didn't though, at least not yet. You were halfway there already in your walk to school. Come on, he was bound to be living somewhere nearby since we often go home together. This is annoying. Why am I even like this? I wasn't acting like this yesterday. You groaned, annoyed. Now that you acknowledged your feelings, you didn't know how to act towards the tall blonde. You felt like every move would make him suspicious, and that the whole world had its eyes on you, and a simple mistake could risk your secret getting out. You bit your lip as you planned on how you would approach Kei. Do I say hi to him? Wait, when have I ever said hi as a greeting? I should tease him. What do I tease him about though? Aw, crap, this isn't good. I'm not able to think of an insult towards him. If I don't think of an insult now, he'll definitely know something's up. You kept looking down as he tried to think of a good nickname and a line to say as you see the blonde. Or maybe you could just ignore him for the day. He wouldn't notice it, right? But then again, you'd have to see each other during club time. Maybe you should just skip that as well. You'd feel horrible about skipping practice though. Plus, it might come off as unreliable towards the team if you didn't come. The last thing you wanted to do as a manager was be someone they couldn't count on. Ah shit, I don't have an escape, do I? You chuckled in defeat as you brought your hand to your face. An escape for what? Your head immediately went towards the source of the voice. Your eyes widened as you realized that fate indeed heard your prayer earlier, but at very bad timing. Ah, the fate manager has blessed me, but right when I wanted to avoid him, he shows up. Hi, you said, regretting it as soon as the word left your mouth. Hi? God, that's so awkward. Hi? Kei returned what you said in a confused and questioning tone. Oh, Kami-sama, take me now, away from here. I just did the most embarrassing thing I can do in front of my crush. I want the ground to swallow me up now. Kei stated with a teasing tone as Chibi-chan ran out of insults to say. No, you came off far too strong with your denial, but decided to pay no attention to it. I was just scared. I couldn't believe I saw a Yeti so early in the morning. Yeti? I can't see it, but I do see an itsy bitsy spider. I wonder why it's lurking in the street so early in the morning. Your insults are lame today, you said, grinning at the boy who you were walking with. Kei glanced at you before looking straight ahead with a smirk on his face. Oh, I was only trying to sync with you because I felt if I didn't, you'd be crushed by my insults by now. I was being merciful, you know. You brought up both of your hands, shrugging. Too bad you can't sync with my height too, and you wouldn't be the shortest anymore. Hey, I'm taller than Ishinoya-senpai. By what, a centimeter? More than that. I'll continue to grow, and you'll see. You pointed towards Kei as you made your claim. Then hurry up, so I could actually start seeing you. Seeing me? Like a date? He thought. The shorter one of the two froze for a second, but then he realized the meaning of the word. The taller of the two noticed and wondered why the hyperactive girl suddenly stopped talking. His words decided to sink in, and he froze too. It's not my fault you can't see clearly. You should get a new pair of glasses if you can't see me. You stuttered out the first word due to the embarrassment you felt because of your own imagination. Luckily, due to his own thoughts, Kei wasn't able to notice it as well. I don't think that's the problem. You see, there are things that cannot be seen by the eye just because they're too small. Don't worry, next time I see you, I'll be sure to bring a microscope. You couldn't think of anything to say back to the boy, for now, giving him another win to their tally. And here you said you'd get back at me for being late yesterday. You puffed your cheeks, and you rolled your eyes at Kei. I won't lose tomorrow. You started sprinting back towards the school as soon as it was within view. You quickly changed your shoes and ran to your room before the tall middle blocker could even catch up. As soon as you reached your seat, you planted your face on the table, clutching your chest and feeling your heartbeat. Crap, it's fast. I couldn't even handle walking with him. How am I going to do the rest of the day? How am I going to survive club? Shit, you said softly. It was math class. You loved math. It gave you a solid clutch on what was happening. Math was definite. It had answers even if they were imaginary. They were still answers. Math had rules, and these rules made it easy to understand the subject. If there was a problem, the answers were absolute. There were no spaces for error and a room for consideration. You loved the fact that as long as you listened, you'd understand. Feelings were different. They were all over the place. They had no definite explanation. They were both easy and hard to even understand. The moment you think you do, they suddenly change into a different feeling. They also contributed to your actions, which is not always the best thing. The worst part was, the more you listened, the more confused you were. Alright, make sure to copy this down, class, the teacher said. You looked down at your notebook and grabbed your pen. You leaned your non-dominant hand on the table, your elbow far from the edge and upright. Without looking down, you started writing in your notebook. I wonder what class the lamppost has right now. Ugh, why am I even thinking about him? I should just try to bury my feelings for him, but he makes me feel so happy by just being next to him. I shouldn't think that way though. I'm sure he wants nothing to do with me. Surname? You looked up at your seatmate, Tobio. Yes, what do you want, Kageyama-kun? You didn't press the top of your ballpoint pen. You looked down at your notebook and saw that you hadn't written anything at all. Before you started writing, you forgot to press the top of your pen. Ah, you sighed. Thank you for telling me, Kageyama-kun. The boy just nodded his head and proceeded to look at the board, trying his hardest to understand the lesson. You, on the other hand, had started mentally cursing yourself and started rewriting your notes with the working ballpoint pen. I let him distract me too much. This isn't good. Sadly for you, this was only the start of your frustration. Stage 2. Him. You ran away from him earlier, but not from his mind. To say Kei was pissed would be an understatement. You annoyed him far more than ever. You made him want to do things he never imagined doing. While walking to school alone earlier, you kept popping into his mind. For some reason, every other train led to a thought of her. He passed a cake shop. He was wondering what kind of cake you liked. Did you like the one with vanilla cream or chocolate? When was your birthday? Would he get you cake as a gift or something else, like a stuffed toy? When he saw a dog, he wondered if you liked dogs. Did you own a dog? Were you more of a cat person or more of a dog person? Were you neither? Did you prefer fish instead? What were their names? If you had a pet, he bet the pet's name would be something either cute or weird. When he saw the ice cream stand you passed by before, he suddenly remembered the events of last night. He remembered how she liked her ice cream. She was a clean eater when it came to ice cream, surprisingly. She said that the drip was too sticky and she'd prefer not to have to worry about it after eating the dessert. When he saw you walking, he decided to speed up to catch up to you. The sight of her made him want to move closer. He wanted to walk as close to you as possible. He wanted to stay longer with you, as much as time would allow. He wanted to say you looked adorable, while you tried saying more insults to him. He wanted to know you more. You made him feel like he could be the happiest person as long as you were there. And maybe he was, not that he'd show it. It felt wrong to suddenly express so many emotions at once, and yet something in him kept pushing him to do more, to show that you were special. What would he earn from that? You didn't see him in that way, so why? If anything, you probably just saw him as a bother or a source of entertainment. He should push you away before these feelings got to him more than they already have. Besides, when has he ever cared about your feelings anyways? He got through his life before without knowing you, so what's the difference now? But when you ran from him, he felt a pain in his heart. He wanted to push you away, but it felt so wrong if you suddenly disappeared from his life. He let you in too far already. You mattered to him. He couldn't do it. He couldn't just push you or his feelings away for the sake of his own emotional security. They say once you start to admit something, it only gets worse from then on. They were right. Realizing his feelings and accepting them, they both led to this point. Now, he can't get rid of the girl in his mind, even if she's far from his sight. Suki, are you okay? Kei looked at Tadashi. It was already club time and the team was working on the receives. It was an apparent thing already that he wasn't good with receives, but at the moment, he was the crappiest of all. His receives were more off than ever before, and it made the team wonder about what happened to the tall middle blocker. I'm okay. Kei decided to focus more and get over things and stop being the center of attention. Once he finally got 5 receives from the coach, he went back to the line inside. Hey, Tsukishima, you sure you're okay? The concerned voice sent his heart racing and his mind into a frenzy. Without even looking, he already knew who was talking to him. How couldn't he when you were the only reason he couldn't focus earlier? Calling me by my name? It looks like the Munchkin is concerned with me, Kei teased, covering up the fact that he was definitely not okay. Of course I'm concerned. You're a part of the team. Your response shocked Kei. You often talked that way when it was club time. You were extremely supportive and caring to those in the team, even to him. But to hear those words again, ever since he realized he saw her in a different way, made him feel flustered. If his heart was racing before, just because of her voice, it was doing a whole marathon because of her concern. Heck, it might even skip a beat or two. Hell, I don't think I can handle my heart anymore because of you. I'm okay, don't worry, Kei gave a short response, as much as possible to keep him from stumbling over his words and embarrassing himself. If you say so. Kei stared at you as you made your way to the other side of the court, observing the others. As soon as you glanced at him, he looked straight ahead, pretending he didn't even look at you. You have such an effect on me and you don't even realize. If people were to tell him before that one of the problems he'd face in high school was thinking about a girl 24/7, he'd scoff and call out their bullshit. And yet, here he was. It seemed unrealistic at first that he actually had feelings for someone. It felt weird. He knew at one point it happened, but he never was really prepared for the fact that having feelings for someone shifts your whole world. He felt weak against you. He hated that feeling. He couldn't go on without seeing you at least every hour. You occupying his thoughts wasn't enough. In fact, it made his desire to see you stronger. He passed by your class while going to the comfort room just to get a glance of your face. If there was a chance to see you, he'd take it. He was like an idiot when he was faced with you. He had too many close calls with slipping out. He was so close to stuttering some words, just because you were the one talking. He wasn't himself, but he did a good job at hiding it at least. No one really suspected anything, until club practice. It turns out, having you there where you also ran, his thoughts led to a disaster. He kept thinking, if you were looking at him, were you amazed, disappointed, or were you not looking at all? He wanted to look at you at all times. He's already been caught 3 times. He was sure that he'd catch you looking at him at least once, with you being the one staring at him, and not the other way around. Or was that just his imagination? Tsukishima Kei was annoyed. Again, full name. You're either gonna drive me to push myself to become better, or just drive me insane. Idolization. In everything you do, you catch my heart. How have I ever noticed how breathtaking you are? Stage 3. Him. It's the little things that make you fall harder than you already have. Kei's always been the observant type, but now he started to notice more things about you, which he never saw before. You saw how quick you were to smile whenever somebody passed by with their pet early in the morning. He noticed how you'd often look up and admire the sky as it slowly became brighter whenever you walked to school. He also took note of how you loved to scratch up your nose when you playfully teased someone. Kei always thought he was already able to observe you as well as he could, but apparently, time and shine different when they're placed under a new light. Hey lamppost, look what I can do. Kei directed his attention towards you, who was showing him how to catch marshmallows in your mouth. You took one of these fluffy sweets and threw it up in the air. As it went down, you opened your mouth, expecting the marshmallow to drop in. Seeing your mistake in the direction you threw it in, you realized the marshmallow wouldn't be able to fall in your mouth. You immediately closed your eyes and braced for the soft impact that would be on your eyes. As soon as it hit the floor, you looked down inside. My marshmallow, you said, pouting to yourself. Rest in peace. You picked up the marshmallow and placed it inside of your lunch bag, taking a mental note to throw it out later. Dumbass. Kei snickered at your attempts. She looked cute though. Maybe the trajectory was a bit off. My power seemed enough. I think it was the angle. How do I fix it? As you pondered on how to perfect your marshmallow throwing skills, Kei looked at you, slightly admiring your thinking figure. Your elbow was on the table and your hand covering half your face. Your thumb was on your cheek while your index finger pointed up, with the rest of your fingers covering the side of your face. If you actually put that thinking on your schoolwork, you would have been in my class, Kei said, pointing out the fact that you obviously had the skills but lacked the drive. It was a similar feeling, but he didn't want to ponder on that. One time, even though she was in a lower class level, she was the one that taught Tadashi how to understand their lesson. You were quick to understand things and pick up new lessons, yet you were too lazy to push through with performing well. Nevertheless, Kei was still amazed with how intelligent you could be, despite your lack of desire to do your best. I would, but I don't want to have your college preparatory classes. I don't like having more workload, you said, crossing your arms together, forming the letter X with it. Besides, I don't want the both of you to get tired of me anytime soon. If I was your classmate, I bet you wouldn't even want to have lunch with me anymore, since you'd always be seeing me. Anyways, that's impossible though. I'd love to spend a lot more time with you, but the words always seem to fail me whenever I want to say something. Kei wasn't the sweet type. He could be if he wanted to, but he didn't. It felt weird to say something he doesn't often say, just to tell the truth. So he went with what he always did, as if we're not already tired of looking at your face. You pouted towards the blonde and immediately switched your attention over to Tadashi. Yamaguchi, you're not tired of me, are you? Yamaguchi was surprised with your question, but immediately gave you a response. Of course not, surname. You looked at the green-haired boy with a wide smile and a twinkling look in your eyes. You stood up and pointed your finger towards Kei, exclaiming, "Take that, Bigfoot." Yeah, Munchkin. Before you can set another fight, Tadashi decided to interject. Surname, your food's getting cold, he told the girl, who left your lunchbox open and untouched. Oh no, my lunch! You immediately sat down and grabbed your utensils and started eating. Kei also noticed another thing with you. Whenever you ate, you looked like a squirrel. You seemed to prefer filling your mouth with food before proceeding to break it down and swallow. It amazed both Kei and Tadashi that you were even able to eat without the food falling out of your mouth. You also covered your mouth whenever you were chewing, probably to make sure none of the food falls to your lap. You also flashed a quick smile before swallowing the rest of your food. You always looked so happy and content whenever you ate food, making it really fun to watch your reactions. Kei remembered how you would react when your lunch was your favorite dish. You kept on squealing, but it was muffled by the food that was still in your mouth. Your hands were on your cheeks, and your eyes were closed, but it was shaped like how it was when you smiled. To see someone react that way to eating food made Kei chuckle. When this happened, Kei remembered commenting on how weird the girl's eating habit was. It didn't faze you at all, though. That was another thing he liked about you. You were never the type to let anything affect you. Whenever he teased you, your reaction would often be using that tease as the truth, then retorting with it. That was one of the reasons why Kei sometimes wouldn't answer back. What others see as an attack, you see as an opportunity to rise. You were indeed smart. You knew how to use what was given to you as an advantage. Sadly, you seemed to keep using it on other things. You were also very cute, and your hand movements were always so animated, so lively. You were nice. You were a nice mixture of sweet and sassy, and always had some unpredictability on you. You were amazing, and Kei couldn't help but admire you. Stage 3. Her. It was club time, and the boys were once again in line. Your coach, Keishin, had them practicing on their receives again. It was just a regular routine. 2 rounds of 5 receives for each person, then spiking. You always love looking at the boys practice, especially when it's their forte. Seeing Yu's face light up when he receives a ball just made you feel happy. The same feeling comes whenever Shoyo gets to spike a ball with all of his strength. The pure happiness on his face after all that makes you feel like a proud mother. Of course, second to their vice captain. There was one person, though, who never really seems to push himself, but still makes you smile whenever he does anything in training. From his improving receives to his good blocks, everything about him was amazing. At least, to you, it was like that. Merely his height sent you into awe. How could somebody even get that tall at such a young age? Has he always been tall? Did he get stretched or something? When Kami-sama made having height reign all over the world, Tsukishima was there to soak it all up like a sponge, you mumbled to yourself. Kyoko, who heard your statement, laughed a bit. What are you mumbling, Munchkin? You froze, hoping that he didn't hear what you said. You looked at Kei, who was towering over you. He was wiping his sweat as he drank water. Once he was finished, he placed his bottle down and looked back at the girl staring at him. What? Are you jealous of my height, Chibi? As if I would be, Beanstalk. You don't have to lie. I'd love to show you how to grow tall, but from what I've heard, bean sprouts have a limit of the height that they can grow. Before you could reply, the team was asked to return to the court to practice their spikes. You could only huff in a response to what the blonde said. Surname-san, I hope you're not annoyed with him, Kyoko said, concerned that one day the two might actually fall apart and not get along anymore. Oh, I'm not annoyed with him, not at all. It sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't. Ever since you realized you started to like Kei as more than a friend, you couldn't really find it in you anymore to be annoyed with him. You might get annoyed once in a while, but it wasn't ever as serious as before. It seems like, even if he annoys me, my feelings still overshadow it. You looked at Kei, who was next in line to spike the ball. You couldn't help but look in awe as he slammed the ball to the other side of the court. You couldn't really stop being amazed by him as a whole. He was amazing. He's like this already. Imagine if he actually tried. You couldn't help but wonder why the boy wouldn't show as much effort as the shorter middle blocker. But you pushed that question away for now. For now, you were happy just seeing him play. I'm tired, Tadashi said, stretching his left shoulder. We should get some pads or something to put on so you wouldn't be as sore. You said while looking at the boy. I have some at home, don't worry about it. This is where I go now. Bye. Tadashi parted ways with you, waving goodbye to the bear. You suddenly became silent. Neither of you talked, due to the fear that you might say something wrong and embarrass yourself. You looked at Kei, who had his headphones on his neck. Most of the time, when it was only the two of you, he started playing some music, probably to stop her from annoying him, or to block out your existence. You made sure not to tease him whenever you walked after training because of the fact that he might get annoyed easily due to being tired. You tease him back though if he started it. Boy, I'm hungry, you said to yourself, leaning your head back. There's a store nearby, Kei said, not even looking at you. You couldn't help but blush in embarrassment when you realized he might have heard you. We don't have to go. I'm not that hungry. Besides, it'll be a bother, you said as you heard the guy click his tongue before looking at you. Who said it was for you? I'm hungry. I'm gonna go to the store. Ah, you said, slightly more embarrassed than before. You can go ahead if you want. I'll just continue walking home. No, Kei said without blinking twice. As if I'm gonna let you go home alone. If anything happens to you, the team's gonna blame me for it. You couldn't help but feel flustered. He was concerned for you. Well, it sounded more from fear of having to deal with the team, but still, concern is concern, and when it comes from your crush, it comes with a blush for you. Okay. The two of you walked towards the convenience store. When you entered, there were only a few people inside. You went to the aisle where they had packed sandwiches and decided to get the one with 3 slices of bread. You also grabbed your favorite drink along the way. Before you walked to the counter, you looked for the blonde you were with earlier. He didn't ditch me, right? If he did, I'm uncrushing him. He peeked by the counter and saw Kei leaning against the shelves nearby with his headphones on his head. I thought he said he was hungry, you said, once again to yourself. You couldn't help but admire him for a bit before walking towards the counter. It wasn't often for you to see him in such a relaxed way without a scowl or smirk on his face. He had a straight face on, and yet for some reason it still made your heart race. Just imagine what his smile would do to me. When you reached the counter, you turned towards Kei, who was still not buying anything. I thought you were hungry. I don't feel hungry anymore. Huh? But you said. You didn't even bother to argue anymore. I can't help but think that he suggested we go to the store just because he knew I wouldn't even recommend it. Your heart rate began to race again. Damn you, Tsukishima. When you were finally done paying, the two of you resumed walking again. After opening the pack in half, you ripped the sandwich in half too. You grabbed the other half you touched with your hand and extended one back to Kei. Huh? Kei raised his eyebrows at you, confused by your actions. Just take it. You said you were hungry earlier. At least eat something. Kei knew that you would continue to pester him until he took it, so he did. You know, you're actually pretty nice if you try, you said before taking a bite and looking into the night sky. I didn't do anything for you. I was actually hungry earlier. If you say so, he teased. The two of you continued walking without making another conversation. You know, Tsukishima, it might really have been my imagination, but it felt like we went there for me through your lie. And if that's the truth, I really can't help but adore you more. Okay guys, this is all I'm reading for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I want to say once again, thank you guys so much for 70 subscribers. I'm so beyond grateful for you guys supporting me. If you guys have any other character recommendations or book recommendations you would like me to read, make sure you comment them down below. And I love reading your guys' comments, so if you want to say anything to me, make sure you comment. I love interacting with you guys, and I'm sorry if my voice isn't that good. My voice is kind of weird, and it sometimes gets really quiet for no reason. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, thank you guys so much. My dog just started barking, so I'm gonna go. Bye. See you guys next time. And also, I will have the story in the description box below if you guys would like to read it. Bye.